Hey, welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Guess you weren't expecting me to show up here today, were you? Didn't do one this morning. Today was my normal um, sprint planning day for one of the teams that organizations I am coaching per se. And so the mornings are kind of hectic and everything like that. I had to do a couple meetings. Anyway, you don't care about my life, but I actually do sprint planning sessions with teams and help coach managers and scrum masters and product owners, mostly leadership, and give some thoughts. So I want to talk today about asking for permission. And there's lots of angles that come in this asking for permission thing. And I'm going to come up how it is important to ask permission before you do. And I'm going to give you some examples of my life and some things that just happened recently. I was training some teams, and some person came into my training and didn't ask permission to join the training and started training people in the room in areas I wasn't ready for, and it's not what I wanted and how things worked, and it just got to be a confusing mess. And I had to have a conversation post that a session, not in the session, but outside the session, to talk about asking permission and things like that. So I wanted to share a little bit about that and why it's important as coaches, leaders, managers, product owners, program managers, whatever you do. I'm going to give some examples why I did it and how, and why it's important. And this We Team Wednesday, we talk HR as well on Wednesdays typically, but this is We Team. How do you protect the team? The team needs to protect itself and establish procedures and processes and habits to help protect them. And they have to let their leaders do their job. And so there's a couple angles there where you're a leader, you're coaching, and you're on a team. And what do you let your leaders do? And what do you expect them to do? So little double-edged sword there that you can't like blame your leaders for not protecting you if you keep leaving the door open so people can come in and things like that. And I kind of did that a little mess up too today, but I won't talk about that one. But it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And it is our afternoon edition because I didn't do a morning one. And we do this so we can share practical and tactical thoughts on Scrum and Agile. This session is going to have a little of both Scrum and Agile, also coaching, also product ownership, program management, project management, leadership, and so on, and management as a whole. So we're going to cover all those things today. And we do this so that we can bring value to our customer, not waste time bringing that value to our customer, and have a little fun along the way. So I'll give you an example. I just talked about recently, just training a class, had someone come in that was more senior, that came into the class, didn't announce, didn't ask permission, started helping with the class I was teaching, which is fine. I have that in the past, but there's a little thing where what I typically did when I was a program manager, and I was in charge of all the money. I had all the money. Basically, everyone's salary in this one place was being paid by me. They could argue not all the time, but I was like, yeah, I was pretty much paying 40 hours a week and for months at a time for your thing. So definitely for months, I was paying it, or my contracts I brought in. I always, before, let's say it was like a built tanks, right? So let's say I wanted to go to the testing area. I'm going to go see what's going on. What's the status of our software build? How is it going? Is they passing? They find any problems? Anything I should know about? But I always, before I went into the area, always knocked on the supervisor's door and knocked on the door, hey, is it okay if I go walk and talk, and let them know? But I always look for the signs that it was okay, that we weren't doing any classified stuff, or there was stuff I should know about that was going on in the room. And I say just because technically I should know about it from a security perspective or something like that. And they would let me know, yeah, no, you're good, Greg. And I would also do it with my software teams. It wasn't just the hardware. Even in the software areas, when I would go into an area, an engineering area, I always went to the lead first. Sometimes I walked down the hall and said, hey, how are you doing? How was your kids? Blah, blah, blah. Small talk. But I always went to the supervisor, the leader of that group, and asked for permission to go. Is it okay if I talk to the team? Anything you're saying? I always try to stay ahead of the game. Didn't wait for a quarterly review or some kind of review somewhere or something, report, to find out what was going wrong or going well before it happened. I was always engaging kind of way. I would make stuff on time. So I would do that. But I always ask permission. Now, the same thing goes with my coaching stuff. There are people and I have made mistakes. Let's just say I have said things in a group setting that I shouldn't. I apologized profusely to the Scrum Master or the other Agile Coach or whoever's running something. I think, yeah, that was my fault. I'm sorry. And I totally apologize. I apologize to the whole group. But what I would do is always ask permission. Like if I'm coaching a team, I'm an Agile coach. They've got a team, they got a Scrum Master or leader or whatever is in charge or product owner. I would always ask permission or make sure they understand that when I'm there, I had permission to ask. But I would do it spottedly. I wouldn't do it all the time. I wouldn't take over the meeting, right? And if there was something going wrong that I wanted to, I would do a side text after the meeting with whoever I wanted to talk to and do some one-on-one coaching or discussion outside of the team. What I never wanted to do was take over the authority of the person that was running the meeting. Like if they were doing, I would, no, you're in charge, you do it. I always talk later. Or there's sometimes when I would ask, like, hey, you might like, yeah, when you do this, like they know I'll give spot things, but it won't be like, oh, you're doing it wrong. That's not how I do it. It's like if something got delayed, like today in our meeting, like something got delayed because they were waiting for a customer. I said, if you're waiting for more than a day or whatever, flag it, and I let everyone in the group, because it was a good team coaching meeting moment. It wasn't overarching the manager in charge or the Scrum Master, but it was just observing they had this problem. I said, it'll help you in the long run as a group and just cover your backside. Just flag things like I've been waiting a day so that your manager knows, your leaders know that you're waiting for information, right? You assuming that your team leaders, your servant leaders know everything and that you're waiting for stuff, it's not going to fly, right? So this is that double-edged sword I talked about in the intro words here, where I want to give people respect, right? I want to give them that, like, I don't want to tell them how to code. I don't want to tell them how that. I was ask permission to offer an idea. And like I would ask, do you mind if I offered like the idea of like you really should flag these things? It keeps you out of trouble, or document some things what you're waiting for, because what it does is it allows the leaders of your group, the Scrum Master, product owners, to have visibility that you're stuck. They don't have to pester you and slack you all day and call you or come to your desk, and because they can leave the comments, hey, I'm waiting for oh man, I'm gonna go follow up with so and so. I can do that. I'm walking by their desk tomorrow. I'll go take care of that, right? And make sure they get the information you want. Now that's one thing. Now you're alerting, let the leaders do their job. Your job is to do whatever your role is, whether it be coding, testing, writing, whatever requirements, whatever you get the most value that you feel out of your time. Your time is not valuable when you're sitting there waiting for someone to give you something and you're pestering them all day. Let the leaders pester people. Let them do it, right? And the reason why I say that, because if you're pestering them, here's what it does. It's a double-edged sword. It allows to come back and pester you, because now they owe you, or you owe them, because they helped you get what you needed. But if you do your managers, now they can have the little I owe you, you owe me thing. Because what will happen is that these outside stakeholders will come into your realm, your office, your team, whatever, and ask you for stuff that you don't want to say yes to because you're swamped with work, right? It's a leadership job. Now, what happens is these teams will complain about the leaders not preventing that from happening. Well, dude, you just dug a hole in the dike, and water's squeaking out because you opened up a little portal. I didn't know you opened up that little portal. Now you got a whole flood of questions coming in, and it's messing up your time, and they're asking you for stuff, and they talk to their boss. Hey, I talked to so and so. They said it was good and it could be done, but in reality, you couldn't do that because they just interpreted that. Now your name is in the heap of trouble, right? Because you are now the primary connection to those outside people. So one of my advice as a team, and we team in the HR Wednesday, is let your leaders do their job, right? You can't expect them to prevent everyone from coming into your team if you keep opening the door. It's about as easy as that. And I see so many people, and I was like, stop opening the door. Send them my way. Let me handle it. And I'll come back and figure out or negotiate when we can do it, or if we really have to do it, I'll let you know. I say, covered all the bases. Yeah, this is CEO's pet baby project, and we don't do it. We're all fired. So yeah, let's do it. Let's move some other stuff. I'll go talk to the other people, let them know we're moving the work out of the way, and give them a heads up. And I'll take that role on, because I don't want you to call these different customers, these stakeholders, and tell them that we can't do it, right? So you gotta let your leaders do their job, right? And you gotta help them a little bit by not breaking down that barrier yourself and opening the door. You can't expect the leaders to do the job. So this We Team Wednesday, we want our leaders, we got to inform them of what we're doing if they're stuck, so they can go do their job. And then we can also help them do their job by not opening the door to all these questions of the team and destroying the barrier. So many people think it's all they should know everything. But then we go and just destroy the barrier, put holes in it everywhere. So that's not good, right? So I wanted to share that with you as a team, as what you use, how you use your leaders, and asking permission, right? And as a coach, it's a multiple thing here about letting leaders do it and asking permission. So by having them, they have permission to go look at stuff. But also as coaches, I find it really important that if I'm going to go into someone's office or I'm going to ask for something, I ask for permission. And why do I ask for permission? One, as you heard, I want to make sure I don't get in trouble, make sure that I don't cause a havoc and slow the process down. Like if I'm going to go to a Scrum Master, if I'm a stakeholder, I'm a product owner, I'm going to go, hey, is it okay if I go talk to the team? The Scrum Master might say, well, no, not right now, because their head's down in this big hot project they got to get done, or we got a production leak and they're working on production. I don't want anybody disturbing them. Let them do their job on this production issue. That's why you go ask permission to the Scrum Master if you can go meet with the team, because they pretty much know what's going on. There's nothing going on. They just let you go through it. Sure, go ahead. But make sure, and what's your topic? What do you talk about? Because they might want to ask something that you as Scrum Master know, or maybe you can before they go in. What's going on? So that's part of asking permission, right? And again, why do I do this? And let's say as a program manager, and I'm at 12 minutes and 48 seconds. So as a program manager, like I said, I would do that. Why would I ask permission? As a program manager, project manager, or leader, if you disrespect somebody who's in charge of that area, okay? Like I said, if I ask permission, blah, blah, blah. If you disrespect them, and then later on, you're going to come and ask a favor for them. As a program manager, as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, as a manager, as a project manager, I asked a lot of favors. And I knew when I asked those favors, I would have to return that thing. So if you start off on a bad note by invading someone's area, and we all own it, bullshit. Okay? I'm going to call bull on that. We all own it. No, you don't. You don't own it. You don't own everywhere, and you can't go everywhere. Even if you're the CEO of the company, you should be allowing the people below to know that you're in the room, right? You just don't show up. And I can tell you a whole government thing, but you got to let them know. So the reason being is later on, you might ask for, hey, I need help with this thing. Oh, we're too busy. Because you offended them because you didn't ask permission before, right? Because you defeated or deflated their leadership and their authority in their area. And then later on, you're going to come for asking for help. You think that's going to go well? It ain't going to go very well. So always ask permission. Always check, because sooner or later, you're going to be asking them for a favor. Or, you want them to honor your authority, but you're not respecting their authority. A lot of times we don't know stuff going into a room, and that can cause a lot of problem with what's going on. So if you think and you go in, they're really doing something else, and you really don't know, and you come hammering down on the Scrum Master or the leader or the team lead or people, but you really don't know the situation, you can look bad, right? and they're going to challenge you, and you don't want them to challenge you in front of everyone, right? Don't want that. You want to take it off the side and do that. So it's been 15 minutes. So it's the end of the show. I just wanted to share. I hope that helps with permissions. I've asked a lot of times. If you have any questions, how to handle that, done it a million times, like everywhere I go. And I do it every day now. If you know of a veteran, I have 5 spots open for coaching for veterans. I haven't heard it from anybody. So if you know anybody from now until the end of the year of 2024, I have these 5 spots. So as I fill them up, first come, first serve. It's a 6 months coaching engagement. It's great for people that are transitioning career, whether they're coming out of the military, going to public service, or they're in public service, but they were a veteran and they just got questions. Do I want to go from a developer to a tester, developer, developer, Scrum Master, Agile Coach, manager, supervisor, whatever you want to do. If you just want someone to talk to, why not? Doesn't cost you any money. So you get 6 months. And I would just want to remind everyone, if you know anybody who can use that, just send them my note. Send them like, hey, go talk to Greg. If you're looking for it, hey, it's often for free. Can't hurt, right? So I want to share that with you. I do encourage it. I will keep promoting that as we go. As we get closer to the year, probably won't do it as much, but it'll still be valid to the end of the year. With that, I want to wish you all the best. Happy scrumming. I know we're at 16 minutes and 34 seconds because I wanted to throw that extra little promo in. And I want to wish you the best. And we'll see you tomorrow on For Our Thursdays. We talk about requirements, reviews, retros, and roles. So maybe just a little role discussion today. But those 4 things for our Thursday. With that, you all take care. And we'll see you again soon.